Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this Navigating Canvas video. Obviously, if you're looking at this video, you've already been to the Canvas page. This video is meant to just run you through the page and help clear up any misunderstandings when you're taking the course. You may have already watched the Navigating the Syllabus video. It's a good idea when watching either one of these videos to have the syllabus alongside you so you can follow along the video. Okay, so at the top of the page, we have my Zoom office hours. Here's the link. Feel free to contact me if you can't make these hours, and we'll try to set up an alternative time. Then we have the syllabus module where you found this video, and you'll find the Navigating the Syllabus video, as well as the syllabus itself. And now that we enter into Canvas, you'll have the syllabus with all of the dates and dates for the deadlines, as well as my suggested dates for going through the course. Then we start the course. And the course is split up into 6 different parts. Each part is titled, which tries to give you a sense of what's coming up. As we move through the part, you'll have the lectures, the PowerPoints, and the readings. So let's just take a look. If we go into lecture 1.1, we see the lecture itself, and sometimes the lecture will appear this way, sometimes it will be a link. Usually the way I've structured the videos is it starts with me talking about what's coming up. Then I'll run through a PowerPoint presentation, and then I'll come back at the end to sum things up. Occasionally within the course of the lecture, there will be some media for either for you to listen to or to watch. Okay, going back to the Canvas page, let's look at how the readings are structured. PowerPoints will be basically the PowerPoint I'm showing within the lecture. So you see it corresponds 1.1 to 1.1. And again, depending on how you study, you either have the PowerPoint with you alongside, or you just watch. This is entirely up to you. PowerPoints can also be a good way to prepare for quizzes, knowing what came up in the lectures. Then let's look at how the readings are structured. Again, you've got the reading 1.1 corresponds to lecture 1.1, and reading 1.2 corresponds to lecture, here it is, 1.2. Let's go into the reading. In this case, here we have readings for lectures 1.1 and 1.2. Sometimes I'll tell you what's coming up and give you some hints and what you should look at, what you should listen to. Here, you'll see we have 2 PDFs, one by Graham called, I have entitled it Traditionalism, and then one by Syed Qutb, who was a leading member of the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood in the 60s. So during this section, you do have some readings from your textbook. And so what you're going to do is you're going to use the syllabus to tell you what readings are coming up within these lectures. And within the syllabus, it will tell you you've got readings from the textbooks, and then you have reading on Canvas. Typically, Canvas won't tell you what readings are coming from the textbook. It's the syllabus that will tell you everything. And then if there are Canvas readings on the syllabus, you're going to come to Canvas to find those readings. I'll repeat that. You're going to look at the syllabus, find out what readings are from the textbook for these lectures. You're going to read the textbook, and then you're going to go to Canvas to find the Canvas readings. And if you've watched the syllabus video, you know that the syllabus is structured to tell you what are the textbook readings for that week and what are the Canvas readings for that week. Okay. And like I said, sometimes I'll suggest things to you and suggest things you should look at. So for instance here, I've said once you've noted your answers to the questions above, try and see if you can find any connections between the Graham reading, right, and those by Aslan, Roger Tuawa, and or Kutub, right? So see this below. And so in other words, you're going to have readings from the textbook and then these 2 Canvas readings. Some people like to do the readings and then listen to the lecture. Some people like to listen to the lecture and then do the readings. The way I work is to do the readings and then listen to the lectures. And that's a replication of what you would do if you're going in person, right? You'd read, hopefully, for the day, come to the lecture, and the lecture would hopefully elaborate and clarify some of the things that came in the reading. Again, in the online environment, you're going at your own pace. It's entirely up to you. The other thing I'll say is that if you want to, it's not a bad idea to read what the essays will be for this part of the course. So as you're reading, as you're watching, you can think about, oh, these are the take-home essays that I'll write for the final part, for the midterm part of the course, and then these are the essay questions I'll be answering for the final part of the course. So again, it'll kind of prep you to be thinking about how do I answer these take-home essay questions with regard to what I'm being presented in lectures and in readings. Okay, now let's go back to the course page. So we've got this part, lecture 1.1, PowerPoint 1.1, Canvas readings. Okay, and the reason in this case we've got 1.1, which is up here, and 1.2, which is down here, is because the introductory lecture, the welcome lecture, doesn't have any attached readings. Okay, so you have lecture 1.2, and then PowerPoint 1.2, and then Canvas readings. Since you already had the 1.2 up here, you'll have the Canvas readings for 1.3 to 1.6, which is coming up below. Occasionally, I'll do something like this to warn you about some things that may come up in the lecture that comes after the note. Sometimes there's a gap in the video I want you to be aware of, or there are some things that have changed in terms of the structure of the class. So for instance, here, I make some mention of online exams. And as I say in the syllabus video, you don't have any online exams. That's been switched to take-home essays. Let's just take a quick look at this set of readings. So in this case, I've split it up. So readings and media for lectures 1.3 to 1.4. In this case, there's some media. Okay, so you'll take a look at that. You've got some readings. Okay, reading for lecture 1.5 and 1.6, and then your final reading. Okay. So again, I have some descriptions of what's coming up in these lectures. It so happens that there are more readings in this one module than there might normally be. Okay, so going back to the Canvas page, here we have lecture 1.3, PowerPoint 1.3, lecture 1.4, etc., etc., etc. Moving on down, at the end of the part, so here you have lecture 1.6. Sometimes there will be as many as 6 lectures. Sometimes it'll be more like 3 or 4. And occasionally, one lecture includes 2 parts. So occasionally you'll have a lecture that's, for example, 4.3 and 4.4 combined. So then at the end of the section, you have your quiz, 10-minute quiz, okay, with somewhere between 10 and 12 questions. And then also at the end of that section, you'll have your discussion question. So I won't open up the quiz because it's not live right now, but basically when you enter the quiz, once you enter the quiz and you start taking it, the timer starts. Okay, at that moment. You can enter the quiz. The quiz will be made live sort of from the beginning of the course, but the quiz is reflective of what comes before it. So make sure you've gone through the whole part before you take the quiz. But you can go through the first part or the whole part as quickly as you want, or as quickly as makes sense for you, and then take the quiz. The one thing to note is you have to take the quiz by the due date, right? You can take it before, but if you don't take it by the due date, then the quiz is considered a 0, since no late quizzes are allowed. Okay. So now let's just take a look at the discussion question, the way it's structured. Again, to receive full credit, your post should be between 150 to 250 words. Use one direct quotation from the reading with a page number, and then a 100-word response on a classmate's post. Right? Both your initial post and your response must be completed by the due date. Okay? If they're not, if all of these components aren't there, as I say in the syllabus video, then you will not receive credit. Make sure to identify yourself by name so that you can address when you're addressing the other person and they can address you. Okay? And the other thing, obviously, maintain internet decorum, have respect for each other when you're commenting on their posts. You can disagree, but just disagree respectfully. That's usually how we want to address things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with disagreeing. I think that's part of life, and we should not avoid disagreeing, but we can disagree respectfully or not respectfully. Okay, so here you'll see, here's your prompt question. Sometimes it'll be longer, sometimes shorter. In the readings to be found in these folders, William Graham attempts to define the word tradition and traditionalism, and Reza Aslan attempts to define the word religion. First, ask yourselves, what do you think about these definitions? Second, and more importantly, do you see any connections between these definitions and the themes contained in the other readings for this week? I am mainly thinking about the following readings, and here you go. Okay, this is some of your prompt questions for discussion will be short and some will be longer. This is a more detailed one. One of the things about your discussion questions is that it's a good way to see what I might expect for your take-home essay questions. So if you can answer this question really, really well, you'll have material for your take-home essays. And then you'll also be learning from each other as you discuss, okay, as you respond to one another. All right, let's go back to the home page. And not a lot for me to say, except that the whole course follows in this structure, same structure. But let's go down just to show you where you'll find the prompts for the paper and the essays. So all the way at the bottom of the page, after you've gone through all parts, okay, part 6, your final quiz, and then we come to the paper upload section. So in this section, you'll find your paper instructions and prompt question, your paper rubric, and then where you upload your paper. Again, it's not a bad idea to look at the instructions and the question before you start reading the book. And then looking at the rubric as well before, middle, and after you write your paper to see if your paper conforms to the expectations. Okay, and then you have the paper upload section. Following that, somewhat similarly, you have a section where you're going to upload your midterm and final take-home essays. You'll have in this case, the upload section is here. Then you'll have the prompts and the rubric. And then it follows that you have the final take-home essays, then the essay prompts, and then the essay rubrics. The rubrics, just as a short note, are pretty much the same for each one of your written assignments, meaning the take-home essays and the paper. but there's a slight alteration just in terms of what texts you're using for each essay. Okay, well, that's your run through of Canvas. If you have any questions or there are any parts or issues that I haven't answered in either this video or the Navigating the Syllabus video, please feel free to email me and I'll be more than happy to run you through anything that is of confusion. Okay, well now I'm looking forward to seeing you in the welcome video, and I hope you enjoy the course. And again, I look forward to hearing from you and reading your discussion posts and your papers. Okay, be well and have a good start to the semester.